Hey everybody, and welcome to the January 6th, 2011 WDW Newscast. Happy New Year. I am Lou Mongello from WDW Radio. Today is January 6th, 2011. This is a Thursday, but make sure you join us every Wednesday normally at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for the newscast, a live interactive news discussion all about the news and rumors surrounding Walt Disney World. If you can't make the live broadcast, make sure you come by, watch, comment, and subscribe over at the YouTube channel at youtube.com/WDW Radio and get updates on other news broadcasts and things going on by following me over on Twitter. I'm twitter.com/Lou Mongello, or the Facebook page is facebook.com/WDW Radio. This week's WDW Newscast is once again sponsored by our good friends over at touringplans.com. There you can find a crowd calendar for the best parks to visit, the most crowded parks to avoid every day for the next year. They'll also tell you how crowded the parks are going to be, give you touring plans for the theme parks and water parks, for touring with small kids, touring with seniors and grandparents, to even going solo. And of course, don't forget, you can take touringplans.com with you to the park with their new Lines application, giving you wait times and fast pass times, so much more, really helping you get the most out of your Walt Disney World vacation. You can find everything over at touringplans.com. So the news this week is good if you are a Walt Disney World enthusiast, for you and your families, because we've talked recently about more value coming to Walt Disney World in terms of value rooms coming with the Art of Animation Resort, Disney being very cognizant of the need to come to Walt Disney World and be aware of your budget. And this week, the Walt Disney World news really surrounds two new offers that Disney released for people to find other ways to save on upcoming trips in a couple of different ways. And this week, for the first time, not only are we here in Walt Disney World at Disney's Beach Club Villas Resort, but I also have a guest to come on and talk with me about some of these resort offerings as well. You know her as Becky Menken from Mouse Fan Travel, and to me, she'll always be Becky Menken from Mouse Fan Travel. So, Becky, welcome to the Beach Club, and more importantly, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for such a warm welcome, Lou.
And, you know, we don't have Duffy here, but you're just as soft and cuddly.
I really don't know how to take that, but I'm sure I'll get you back.
It's meant as a compliment. It is very much meant as a compliment. Let's do that so we don't. Oh, so everybody can see your pretty face. All right. So I wanted you to be here because I wanted to talk about some of the offers that Disney released, and obviously this is definitely your area of expertise. And I wanted to do this also with the viewers because for those of you who are watching live in the chat, I'm going to have some questions for you about these offers, as well as anybody that may be watching. I want you to come by and comment over on the Ustream channel as well. Again, that's ustream.com/WW Radio. There's two different offers that are actually being released kind of simultaneously. Mm-hmm. The first one is if you purchase a non-discounted, there's always qualifications here, 4-night, 4-day Magic Your Way vacation package at a select Disney Value Resort for most nights, February 17th through April 16th, again from April 28th to June 14th, or August 14th through October 1st. Kids ages 3 to 9 stay and play for free. Okay, and again, there's limits to this offer as well. But again, if you're traveling with young kids, this is a great offer because again, this could be a huge savings for those who are traveling with larger families.
Absolutely. Those who have children, one child, especially 2 children or 3 children, you actually can get a lot of savings in there. But the interesting thing is it's not just in the value resorts. You can also get savings at the moderates, the deluxes, or the villas as well. They do have limited number of rooms that are available for this offer specifically at the different resorts. So they're trying to get everyone to book early. And this is a great way to do that. So
do you have to, is there a booking window that you have to book by in order to take advantage of it? Or can you do can you book on September 28th for an October 1st trip?
Well, actually, right now, they've split these offers in two different booking windows. So for the first one, which is for stays most nights, and I'm going to say most nights because they do have some blackout dates like they usually do during this time period, from February 17th to April 16th, you have to book by February 13th to get that travel window. If you're looking at the April 28th to June 14th, and then, of course, it skips over that summer period. I wonder why. And then starts up again on August 14th and goes to October 1st. You have to book by March 27th for that booking window.
Okay. So there's people already in the chat who are saying, this is great. I don't have kids, but bet there are some parents who are getting ready to book just that. Somebody asked a question saying, what does the stay-free portion pertaining to the kids actually mean? Is it more just about the park tickets for them, or is there anything having to do with the room itself?
That's a very good question because I was wondering that as well. There are some resorts that do have extra charges for extra people in the room beyond two. But the biggest value you're going to get is off the tickets, obviously.
All right. Disney World Dave is asking, can it be used as a DVC member, or is it just for people who are booking Magic Your Way packages at these resorts?
At this time, it is for the Magic Your Way package only.
Okay. A lot of people are asking, people are saying, and I agree with you, I'm 42, I'm still a kid at heart. If you're 50, if you're 40, if you're 23, does that count as a kid? Not in Disney's eyes, but again, I mentioned that there were two offers coming. There is a second offer as well, and this is one that will pertain to single people, couples, those traveling without kids.
Hey.
What? Like us?
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
kidless. I'm kidless again, other than Scott Otis in the background here. The other offer is up to 40% off your room. And this is a room-only deal, correct me if I'm wrong, where you must book by March 27th. And again, some blackout dates also apply. And it's up to 40% depending on when you stay and where you stay.
Correct. And this also has that split time period as well, where you're saying up to 40%, that's true. However, for the stays April 28th to June 14th, you have some value resorts that are either 15 or 20%, depending on the resort it is. Moderate resorts are 20 to 25% off, deluxes are 25 to 30, and the villas are up to 35% off. And then that second block of time, which is that the value season, as we know it, August 16th to October 1st, then it kind of ticks up by 5% on each of those categories.
Okay. And people in the chat room are loving this. They're saying it's great for us. It's 40% is awesome. Somebody did it last year at 30%. Totally worth it. Do you have to have a special PIN code? Because I know some people receive codes via email. Do you need this, or is this open to anybody?
This is interesting. Again, the whole PIN code thing, there are PIN codes out there that are different from these deals that actually are better. Some are actually not as good as these rates that you're getting here. If you called and asked them for the 40% off offer for your room only, or ask for the kids stay and play free, they're going to give it to you because you know what you're talking about there. However, there's also PIN codes, and when you hear the word PIN codes, those are offers that are specifically set to the name of the person who's being sent to.
Okay.
So, Lou, if you are getting a PIN code that's emailed to you, that number that you use, you have to have it, and you have to be staying in the room in order to activate it.
So if you got a PIN code in the mail, you couldn't share it with everybody and
Correct.
everybody take advantage of it. Okay.
Correct. It is specifically set to your name. Now, the funny thing is make sure that when you call or when you talk to your vacation planner, they will, I gotta throw that in there, of course, actually make sure that you compare the two, because the PIN code may or may not be the best deal.
Okay.
And even on the room-only codes, you can still add tickets to that. It doesn't have to be a Magic Your Way package. You can get the 40% off, and then you can add tickets if you need to.
Some people said getting a code is like winning the lottery. So if somebody gets a code, they could actually call you or their travel planner, who should be you, and you can help compare what's the better value. Is it the code? Is it the discount? When's the best time to book?
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that we do. That's what we do all day is we'll call and we'll say, okay, we know that there are these 4 codes that are out there already. Okay. My client has a PIN code as well. Can you compare the price with that? So don't always think that the newest, latest, greatest offer is always the best. You have to compare.
People are asking, can you book 4 people in these kind of rooms for these discounts, or is there a limit in the number of people in rooms?
Right now, under the kids, believe it or not, is 4. It's the limit of 4.
Okay.
So to those guest rooms.
What about for the second part of the deal, for the non-kid code rooms? Is there any sort of limit? Not that you're going to pack 11 people into an all-star movies room, but can you do it for two, or can you do it up to four?
Just glancing at the fine print, which Disney loves to put a lot of fine print in everything they do, I don't see a limit to the number of that. That doesn't mean that there isn't one, but it's not showing right now.
Okay. There's a lot of questions coming up in the chat room, and this is why I wanted to talk about it here as opposed to on the show, because I want to ask you guys questions and respond to your questions as well. People are asking a lot about the PIN codes, but they're also mentioning things about room discounts versus dining plans and dining discounts, because that's something that I know has been a big incentive for people, has been free dining, something that they often have later on in the year, later on in the fall season as well. I'm curious, for the people in the chat, what is more an incentive for you? Is it up to a 40% discount? Is it a kids stay free? Or is free dining something that you look for more? Or is it, hey, this is the time of year I want to go, it's just going to be a matter of what's the best discount that I can get?
I'm really curious in this answer.
Prefer room discounts, free dining, love the 40% room discounts. I like room only best, free dining for us. So it's kind of split. Mm-hmm. People are back and forth. The one thing I've heard about free dining, and again, as an annual pass holder, I'm going to ask you guys about this as well, something that as a food guy I unfortunately can't take advantage of is you hear people saying at the end of their stay, it's too much food. I didn't take full advantage of it because I've got 12 counter service credits, or I'm loading up on Rice Krispie treats and sticking them in my carry-on bag because I need to use all of my snack credits. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why people like the guaranteed 40% off the room, and then they can sort of wheel and deal their own dining discounts as they need to.
And we find other people really enjoy not having to worry about getting out their credit card or not worrying about having to have a bill, so they don't mind having a couple of extra snack credits afterwards.
WDW After Dark, I agree. There never is so much a thing as too much food. Believe me, I'm sure I could find a way to use all of my dining credits as need be. Jay Thaddeus Toad says dining isn't necessarily the value it seems to be. Again, I think that goes to how you use those dining credits. Is using 2 credits for certain restaurants maybe the best way to do it? It depends. Are you more of a table service or a counter service person? The other question I had for you guys is, when you see these kind of specials come out, and again, when you're talking about up to 40% on a villa, that's a pretty substantial savings.
Yeah, it is.
Is that enough to incentivize you to take another trip to Walt Disney World, to maybe change when your trip is, to make you say, well, let's take another one, or let's take a trip that maybe we weren't going to plan, do those discounts and do discounts like this? Is this enough for you to do it? Sandy McGowan says yes. Tigger fan looks right away and starts looking for flights. Ursula remembers when it was up to 45%.
Yeah, nice.
Zeus New York says another trip. Toasted says yes. Elizabeth Owensby, absolutely. So people are saying, yeah, Tigger fan, discount to make me look. So this is definitely doing what Disney hopes to do. It is people are saying, this is what I needed to allow me to, and gives people the opportunity to take a trip that they might not otherwise be able to take.
Very true. And I find it interesting, though, that they were on a really interesting pattern of rolling out their offers, where it really was consistently every quarter. But it seems like that they are slowing up on that a little bit. So these offers may be worth taking advantage of now.
Well, Henry and somebody else said before, they referred to Bob Iger talking about no more discounts. Henry said, whatever happened to weaning us off discounts? Maybe this is weaning us off. My question as a Florida resident, as an annual pass holder, is one that I saw shooting by a couple times in the chat, which is moving very quickly, is what about for those of us who are annual pass holders and Florida residents? Sure, there are the discounts that apply all the time. You can find a limited number of rooms where you can take advantage of that. But we never sort of seem to get these kind of in-your-face offers. Say, hey, annual pass holders, here's your additional X amount of percent off, or here's your dining plan discount.
Yeah, and there are times that they do roll out an AP offer alongside of any room-only offers that come out. Sometimes they're better, sometimes they're not as good as the general offer. So it really is kind of a toss-up depending on the offer that you're looking at and the dates. Right,
so Toasted's ask, how do these compare with the annual pass holder discounts? This is where the abacus has to come out, and you've got to do your homework. And again, this is a shameless plug simply because you're sitting here. take your hand off my leg. But this is where calling a travel agent can help you, because they'll help you sort of weed through what can be very, very confusing. It's overwhelming because there are so many different machinations of how, when, where, and what coupon code or where, what plan to take advantage.
Right, and as I found out tonight, because I did a couple of experiments, and I actually called into the call center tonight to ask some questions as well, and a lot of information is not going to be volunteered to you. You're not going to hear, oh, well, by the way, are you an AP holder? Let me check on that. Are you this? Let me check on that. Whereas a vacation planner, any of the vacation planners out there who specialize in Disney may have another client that they just called about. They know about an AP rate, or they know about a code, or they already are aware. So take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I'm sort of watching, again, the discussion's still going on versus which one is best for that family. For some people, free dining gives them the opportunity to eat in places that they might not eat otherwise. To go to a 2-credit place like Le Cellier, California Grill, which we we need to go back. Small World is talking about ADRs are difficult during free dining. Yes. So for some people, they try and stay away from that time period.
Well, I found it interesting that they rolled out that free dining offer not too long ago that just expired, that went all the way into September. Because now I'm not sure if they're going to roll it out again. I think it's going to really depend on the load factor and how much pre-booking they have and how many rooms they have left to determine what the next offers will be.
JT's asking, is pricing different if you stay during the week versus staying on the weekends?
Yes. Usually you're going to get a much better deal during the week than you do on the weekends because there's just more demand. So it's the laws of supply and demand.
Run Disney John said, free dining during marathon weekend would be great. Got to eat up, got to carb load. John, I've been carb loading for like 11 years, and I've only run once. So let's see. Some people are saying dining plan would be a waste for them. So the 40% room and the kids staying free is definitely something that that they look for. Disney Couture doesn't like free dining. It ruins the restaurant experience, always feels rushed. Free dining is nice for 2 credits. While Mark is using free dining for his August trip. So it's very interesting to see the timing of when these are released. And again, I was not sure what people's response was going to be, other than, this is great, but I can't go. Almost everybody said, yeah, this is reason for me to go. This is what we wait for. I think a lot of people know that there's sort of a pattern to when they come out. This is what they're waiting for, and now they're going to already start looking for flights.
Yeah, I would say you should when you see these come out. And, with that message that Henry was talking about before, the message from Iger saying that they're going to kind of roll back on this, it's going to be interesting to see what they do over the next year.
Steve Medina wants to know who does my hair, but that's really not what we're talking about here.
Yeah, there's a lot of products in here, by the way. Seriously.
Don't touch my hair. It takes me hours to work on my hair. Excuse me. So, again, I definitely want to hear more about this, because there is definitely people who are very much on either side of the fence, and there is no right or wrong way to do it. It's what works best for your family situation. Are you traveling solo? Is food important to you? I would love to have this conversation continue in the comments section on the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/WW Radio. Give us your thoughts about these types of discounts. Are these things that you wait for? Do they make you want to go to Walt Disney World? Do they make you go or allow you to go a second, maybe even third time during a different time of year that maybe you couldn't go otherwise? Does it change how and when you go to the park, and which of these plans works best for you? If you're an annual pass holder, if you're a DVC member, I'd love for you guys to definitely weigh in on that as well. That's going to do it for this week's WDW Newscast. I want to thank again Becky Mankin from MEI and Mousefan finally, after like 5 years. Mankin. Mousefantravel.com. They'll help you wade through all this. I want to thank everybody who came into the chat room. I, of course, want to thank again the sponsor of this week's newscast, our friends over at touringplans.com. Definitely go and check them out. They will sort of help you wade through what to do and how to do it to get the most out of your experience when you're in the park. Make sure you download and check out Lines as well. Keep the conversation going, not just in the comment section at YouTube, but you can call the voicemail at 888-703-2171. You can email me directly at lou@wdwradio.com. Make sure you come by and visit the site at wdwradio.com, not just for the podcast, but for other videos I try and put out every once a week or so, daily blog posts. We have contests. We've got our friendly forums, our photo galleries. You can also order signed copies of my Walt Disney World trivia books and my audio guides to Walt Disney World on CD and voicemail. You can get a link over to Celebrations Magazine as well. That's going to do it for this week. Again, thanks so much for taking the time and tuning in. Thanks again, Becky Menken. Be sure and tune in every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and download the podcast over at WDWRadio.com and iTunes. So until next week, Happy New Year. See ya.